the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back trackside once again, race fans, here to the Turn 3 Racing Network tonight. The Cyber Thunder Pro Cup series fires things off for race number 4. They're going to tackle massive track down here in the Lone Star State, just outside of the city limits, Austin, hosting tonight's Circuit of the Americas Road Rage Grand Prix. 34 laps, the official scheduled distance here tonight. Qualifying already behind us, Cody Richardson taking the top spot. Fast time in qualifying 2:13.33 around this massive 22 turn, a 3.3 mile track. We're going to jump right into the action. We're not going to miss a beat here tonight. So as we get ready to head trackside for your national anthem, how you doing? How you feeling? Out there in TV Land, race fans, glad you could all join us here tonight. As always, bringing you the calls from trackside. Speaking of trackside, as the music fades, we're going to jump right to things tonight. Let's head closer to the starting grid for your national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
And as the flyover finishes, we bring you back trackside. You can see some weather starting to roll in here at the Circuit of the Americas. We're going to have to see if rainfall affects the race here. Keep in mind, these drivers can come down pit road and put on rain tires here and head back out on the track. So we'll see if the weather holds up. But before we get underway, what do you say we head trackside as drivers begin to roll? So why not go ahead? Run down your starting lineup here tonight, starting inside row number 1, your pole sitter here for the Road Rage Grand Prix. Starting behind the wheel of that man, Spartan, number 64 machine, Cody Richardson. Dan King just to his outside with Gary Bowman and Andrew Koska back in row number 2. Row number 3 here tonight from C.O.T.A, Kyle Maydew. And the 51 of Jerry Isaacs. Ed Jurgen, Nathan Dufton back in row 4. Row number 5 rounding out your top 10, the 44 of Ray Richard. The 31 of William Kern. Christian Delgado and Dave Gainforth making up row number 6. Jerry Camilli and Paul Turner, row 7. Row number 8, your final 2 drivers in the field here tonight, the 77 of Dave Sanders, the 09 of Stephen Music. That's going to do it for your Premier Racing setup. Starting lineup. We've got 34 laps of road course action laid out in front of these drivers, over 20 turns. Lap after lap, mental focus is going to have to be there. Awareness is going to have to be there here coming up the hill into turn number 1. Base truck in. We're set. Let this field loose here. They'll come around the final corner into the restart zone for the first time tonight. Green flag flies here from C.O.T.A. Field looks to stay clean through turn 1. Everybody going to navigate the tight hairpin. A little bit of a look there from the Duncan machine back in the background. That's the 09 of Stephen Music. A little bit of a moment there, almost onto the rumble strips early here on lap 1. Field will head through the S's. Cody Richardson still out front, showing the way. Already opening things up to just about 3/4 of a second. The GoPro 85. Dan Keene. Keene has been fast so far this season. Will he be able to keep pace and keep Richardson within striking distance? And happy hour Richardson, very quick, qualifying, snatching the pole position. That Toyota is quick here tonight at C.O.T.A. jump around a little bit, see if we can't find some more battles for you. What do you say we go back here around that 97 of Kyle Nadu? Maybe trying to pick up a handful of positions. Qualified right here in fifth, has stayed in fifth on this opening lap, but he's got a fast Jerry Isaacs closing in behind him. Isaacs looking to become your first driver this season to go back-to-back trips to victory lane. Look for 3 fresh faces. Will it be a 4th here tonight from C.O.T.A? So I tell you what, we're going to jump around a little bit here as lap number 1 coming to a close. Very long lap here, over 3.3 miles around the track. These drivers are going to put in over 100 miles of road course action here tonight. And for me and you, that doesn't sound like much to, jump in the car and head 100 miles down the road on the interstate. Well, the interstate's wide open. You're getting it. Over 20 turns, 3.3 miles. Still lap times, 2 minutes, 16 seconds. The 101 of Dave Gainforth going to have an off-track moment. Let's go back here really fast. Let's check the replay. Let's see what happened to the Spammer 101. And there it is, turn number 1. We talked about it possibly being a problem, and there it is. Actually, no, that's going to be the final corner. Final corner coming to the start-finish line. We apologize. Dave Gainforth a little bit out of shape. That final run. Watching the battle now around that 10th position. You can see the 44 of Ray Richard and his Abruzzi machine. That thing looks sweet, man. I like the paint on that. Nathan Dufton closing in behind him in the 47 machine. Camilli with a little bit of a struggle here. 2 early season winners, both Jared Camilli and Dave Sanders, struggling here tonight at the road course. 12th and 13th. In the running order. We'll see if they're going to be able to make their way up through the field. Very long night. We can't count anybody out just yet. So a lot can go on at a road course. 2 or 3 off-track excursions can cost you upwards of 5 seconds or more of track time. And with no caution flags here tonight, road course rules apply. Unless the track is just absolutely jammed up. No caution flag. We're going to have local yellows only here, so it's going to be a solid 34 laps of racing for these Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series drivers. So the mistakes will add up. There's going to be a point in time where they've compounded themselves into a bigger problem. Whoa, a little bit of an issue there. Driver are going to lock it up through the final corner. Seems to be a big trouble spot here. Nathan Dufton behind the wheel of that Mobil 1 Toyota Camry. He's going to have a problem in the final corner. Lock it up. Run out there on the access lane. Really don't want to be utilizing that very often if you don't have to. This was the corner we thought was going to really give some drivers some problems, but it's that flat left-hander. The final corner coming to the start-finish line that seems to be really throwing these drivers for the biggest loop and the biggest trouble. Already over 10 miles of racing action behind us, working lap number 3 here at Circuit of the Americas. We're going to drop the timing scoring over there to the left-hand side of your screen. Let you find and follow along with your favorite driver in the field here tonight. Still showing the way, 1.3 second advantage for this man right here, your pole sitter. Cody Richardson hasn't really been able to step too far out there. 1.3 seconds, not very much at a road course. That's about 1 mistake made And Dan King and Andrew Koska will be able to close right in. Close little battle here for second and third. Got some more battles back around the top 10 position. William Kern, Christian Delgado, 8th and 9th on the speedway. You can find Ray Richard just behind him, lurking in the background. And this is where I think most of the action is going to come from here tonight, guys. I think right here, you got 3-4 drivers all lined up in a row, each of them trying to not make a mistake. And all that's going to take is one mistake from one of these drivers, and a handful of positions are going to be gained or lost pretty quickly. The Wildman Racing Track Racer. Number 3113, we apologize. Looking pretty quick here tonight. We're going to see if he can keep it up. See if he can't close in on the top 5. We're going to have green flag pit stops. That's the other thing we're going to keep in mind. Even though we're only working lap number 4. Already almost 15 miles of racing underneath these drivers' belts, so the pit cycles should be, I believe we're going to be looking at about lap 17 or so. We should start seeing drivers come to pit road, maybe lap 15. They're really wanting to get those fresh tires out there and see if they can't gain some ground. But here at the road courses, unless you're just absolutely on it, it is pretty tough to gain a substantial amount of time. Whether you pull a short pit and undercut or you do the long run, time is of the essence at road courses. Perfection is almost necessary. Tell you what, do we got one up front, guys? Let's go to Dan Keene in this 85 GoPro machine. We've got an onboard camera here tonight. Let's head inside of the cockpit. Let's see just how busy he is on about a half a lap. We're not even going to take you around the track on a full lap. Let's just look at that half a lap here. See on the dashboard readout, 4th gear uphill, down to 2nd, all the way to 1st. You can hear Keene really having to work the throttle to keep the car doing what he needs it to do. Back down a gear and into 2nd, into the left-hand turn. We're going to come through the final right-hander here. You know, I say final right-hander, it is definitely not the final one. But now we're in that long stretch here, back down into the hairpin. So a lot of work going on behind the wheel, and this is only a half a lap. We'll jump back outside of the cars as these drivers continue to pound the pavement here, lay down some very quick laps. Just that distance is starting to settle in. The drivers starting to get maybe a little more comfortable. Looks like a handful of guys still running some pretty fast lap times out there. Your top 3 still under 2 minutes and 15 seconds around this 3.3 mile road course. And you do 3 miles in 2 minutes on the interstate. You tell me how fast you're going. These guys are cutting corners left and right. Speeds over 150 miles an hour. Slowest portion of the racetrack at about 40 miles an hour. Coming through these corners right here, upwards of 90 miles an hour. So there's a lot going on for sure here behind the wheels. The Road Rage Grand Prix brought to you by the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. And a long way to go here tonight. Green flag pit stop still lay in front of us. Let's see, let's go back there to that 10th position battle. Thank you guys. Let's get back here on track. A lot of guys mixing things up here. 4 drivers going at it. Kern, Delgado right there. Camilli all over the tail end of that 13 machine. Ray Richards still in the mix. The Bruzy number 44 looking quick here tonight, maintaining pace. And again, I'm going to say I'm biased. I like the car. Thing looks good. Just saying. Just saying. However, just because the car looks good doesn't mean it's going to have speed. Richards still trying to crack into the top 10 for the first time here tonight. Front of the field, pretty spread out. 1.6 second advantage for Cody Richardson. Dan Keene, 1.7 seconds over Andrew Koska, Gary Brown, Kyle Nadu. Round out your top 5. Tell you what, let's go up here to this Lowe's 97 machine of Kyle Nadu. A great finish for him last week. Walked away with the podium position. And as we work our way around the track here, lap number 6 underway, already noticing none of your previous race winners inside of your top 5. So is tonight for those race winners is just a survival? Let's get whatever points we get, walk away from this thing, and don't look back. The only road course in the season for these drivers. So the one and done, the one off, if you will. I'm not sure too many drivers are going to be worried about too much of the performance. More going to be so of the points, which are in essence directly correlated. So I don't even know where I was going with that. So we're gonna hush for a moment to get back to some of the action here. Camilli has been able to work his way by the 31. Christian Delgado in the 13 moved his way by Kern. That opened up the door and an opportunity. Camilli sees that moment, moves to 9th now. Out of the final corner, back across the stripe. Lap number 7 already underway for the field. You want to talk about Sunday driving? Well, we're not going to talk about it here tonight. Man out front showing the way, walked away with the Premier Racing Setup Pole Award. Established the lead right off the gate coming out of turn number 1. Began to build on that 0.3 of a second advantage, now upwards of a second and a half. Cody Richardson clean and clear on this field. Can be ill-afforded mistake as we take a look inside. The man putting in work at the office, getting it done. Cody Richardson going to show the way around here at Circuit of the Americas. A little look back now off the tail end of this Toyota. As Dan Keene slowly begins to watch Richardson step away. Closing in on a third of the way through tonight's race, Cody Richardson has been out front all night long. Dan Keene stuck right there in second. Andrew Koska going to pick up a position on lap number 1. Move Koska from 4th to 3rd. Bowman going to drop that spot back into 4th. Kyle Nadu right where he qualified. Ed Jurgen, let's go check out this 92 machine as he makes his way around the track. Jurgen up 1 position from where he qualified. A little bit off pace here. Looks to be about a second off on the lap times of your race leaders. But still a great points day as we inch closer to a third of the way through tonight's race. Jurgen now sits in 6th. Jerry Isaacs, let's take a look at Isaacs as he tries to close in, but just not really having any luck. This is your closest battle on the racetrack. We're going to stay right here for just a handful of moments. Let's see what unfolds between the 31 and the 30. Delgado and Camilli going at it here. Down into the final corners. Camilli trying to close in. He's just not really able to get the job done just yet, man. It's like every time he has that opportunity, he misses the corner entry. Has to push a little wide through the center. Isn't allowed to get back to the gas when he needs to, and gives up a little bit of time on that back end. A little bit of contact on the front end of that machine as well. Can we get another shot of that, guys? Let's take a look at the front end of this Camaro. There you can see the middle of it. A little bit dented in here. He's been into the back of somebody at some point in time. Delgado slowly beginning to open up the advantage. The Wildman Racing Track Racer number 13 machine. Finding some speed here late in the run. Woo. All the gas a little bit early there. Back end gets a little bit squirrely and sideways. Nothing to really worry too much about. Oh, Dave Sanders with trouble. Sanders with trouble. 31 with a little bit of trouble as well. Let's take a look real quick. Let's go to the Premier Racing setup. Replay. Watching for what happened with this bad weather. Brewing Company number 77. And there it is, just a lazy little spin. So we'll head back live with the battle that we stepped away from. Fight resuming. Camilli right there trying to get the position away from Delgado. Both of these drivers, biggest movers of the race here tonight in the Road Rage Grand Prix from Circuit of the Americas. Up 3 and 4 positions apiece. So that just lets you know how hard it is to make passes here. Once that gap gets built, once the drivers get I don't want to say more familiar, but a little bit more comfortable with those braking points. That's when those gaps really begin to establish themselves, really start to stabilize. Then it's all about mental clarity. Right, we brought you on board moments ago with the man sitting in second. We're going to go on board now with this 13 machine. Delgado carrying our Chevy onboard camera. Every single corner, every single lap after lap, you have got to maintain focus, that mental clarity, the mental exhaustion and exertion that these drivers go through at these road courses. I would say are likened to none. I mean, Closest thing maybe I could compare it to for having to be so focused mentally at what's going on behind the wheel is maybe at those restrictor plate races where you really got to be cognizant of your surroundings, what's going on, the situations, the runs. Here it's more so about that throttle control, the braking control as well. Uphill, off camber to the left. You got to be easy on those brakes. You can't lock them up. It's a little bit of a tabletop at the top end of turn number 1. You get sliding those tires and you're just going to slide right off into that gravel pit. So braking, huge. You hear at C.O.T.A. Throttle control, you can hear it. Never just straight all gas. Little jumps of the throttle, little taps of the toe. And that's what we got to get, guys. We need a foot cam to watch these guys tap dance in these cars, man. I'm telling you, the footwork would be phenomenal to see. We've got to pass at the front of the field. We're going to jump outside of the car and head to the front. Andrew Koska able to make his way by Dan King just moments ago. Man, those Mad Sim stable of drivers, you kind of can't hold them down. You kind of can't count them out, huh? Let's take a look out front. Are we seeing a familiar theme? Mad Spartan. Mad Spartan. We had teammates last week go 1, 2, 3. Looks like we've got teammates 1, 2 here tonight. Dan King, he's in the mix. The GoPro 85 has been quick, but he's given up a little bit of time here. Just about 7 laps away from the halfway point here tonight in the Road Rage Grand Prix. You're watching the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series right here from Circuit of the Americas. 16 drivers to the starting grid here tonight. We've got 2 drivers on pit road. Crews feverishly working to try to get them back out onto the track. The 09 of Steven Music and the 101 of Dave Gainforth both going to have trouble, and it looks like the hood comes down and the crew shaking their heads. The 09 will be pushed behind the wall on pit road. Early exit now for Music. We're going to keep it right here, tuned in to the closest battle on the racetrack. The 85 GoPro machine of Dan King trying to take back that second position. You can see those brake rotors glow, man. Let's stay right here with this camera, guys. Get a good shot at just how much brake these drivers are indeed using here. Through this portion of the track, through the S's, you're not going to see a whole lot of issues from the brakes. Not until you get into some of these corners up through here. You may want to use a little bit of braking as drivers go around turns number 8 and 9 and head off towards turn number 10. Going to come down the hill and head off to the hairpin. We await the arrival of your race leader off of turn number 13. Again, one of those heavy braking zones, hard left-hand corner. Want to grab the gear, get back up on the gas, utilize those rumble strips just a little bit to your outside. Carry some speed and momentum back into the next double right-hander. A very unique turn here in NASCAR, that double right-hander. It's quite familiar when you get into the IMSA tracks, when you get into IMSA racing, as well as Formula 1, Formula 2, Formula E for that matter. You do see some of those double corners a little more, but these drivers in these heavy tin tops, not so much used to that. Koska slowly beginning to walk away in his Mad Spartan Sim Racing number 86 machine. Two Toyotas at the front of the field. Dominating here tonight is Richardson. Ooh, big lock up there for Koska. The run to the front for Christian Delgado and Jared Camilli has come to a little bit of a stall. They're going to maintain that 8th and 9th position on the racetrack. Still quite a bit of a ways to go here tonight. 22 laps remained. The Road Rage Grand Prix for the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. I want to take a moment to shout out each and every one of the sponsors, all of the fans in the stands, and of course you out there in TV land. We appreciate the company here tonight. If you haven't already, be sure to drop these drivers a thumbs up to let them know you enjoy all the racing week in and week out, each and every Thursday night right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Trouble for Nathan Dufton. Now let's go check a quick replay here. The Mobile 1 Toyota Camry. Got a feeling he might loop it a little bit here. No, just going to run quite a bit wide. But still, that lockup, you can see the puff of smoke. And I mean, that's all it really takes to mess up a corner. That's going to cost him 2 to 3 seconds right there. So earlier we talked about the problems compounding themselves at the end of tonight's race. In the importance of mental clarity, the importance of focus. Too many mistakes will turn a great day into a nightmare. Race leader to pit road, Richardson to pit road, a little bit on the early side here. We expected to see drivers in around lap 15. Lap 17, going to come to pit road here on lap number 13. Top 3 all to pit road. Going to take a look here at Gary Bowman. What does the Blackstone 08 do? He's going to follow suit. He's going to head to pit road as well. Kyle Nadu down pit road. Ed Jurgen right here. Let's see what the 92 elects to do. And I would expect just what we're seeing. I would expect most of this field all to follow suit with the race leader to make their way onto pit road for their first and what should be only green flag pit stop of tonight's Road Rage Grand Prix live from Austin, Texas. Easy for you to say, right? Live from Austin, Texas here at Circuit of the Americas. Big shout out to everybody making the trip to the track. This amazing sprawling facility has an amazing feature to watch from the tower. It's an absolute ticket. If you have the opportunity to get here, I suggest you try to watch the race from high above. Absolutely an amazing thing to witness. So with the entire field coming down pit road here on lap number 13, those gaps are going to somewhat stabilize. A little bit of a bigger advantage for Richardson, Koska, and Keene over the rest of their competition, but able to build a little bit of more buffer in between themselves as well. 2.5-second advantage for Richardson. Koska with another 2.5-second advantage back to Dan Keene, Gary Bowman, and Kyle Nade, who will now round out your top 5. Christian Delgado with some trouble. 31 Track Racer Machine gonna have a bit of a slide, a bit of an off-track moment. Corrals the car, gets it heading. Lord, we cannot talk tonight. Gets it heading in the right direction. But gonna lose a ton of track time. So right around the way from the halfway point, what do you say we kick things off a little bit quick? Let's head to the front for your driver highlights and spotlights. He's been out front all night, leading all 14 laps behind us. 20 to go. The Blooper native, looking for his first win of the season right here at the road course. Can Cody Richardson back up that pole position with a race win? We're going to find out here. Another handful of laps, but moving back to the man sitting in second. Ontario's very own Andrew Koska sitting in second. Started back in fourth, gaining 2 positions over the course of the first 10 to 12 laps. A great job so far here from Koska, but he's got to get a little bit more speed out of this second run to try to run down Richardson and give himself that opportunity for a race win. Dan Keene dropping 1 spot. The Kernsville, North Carolina native started in second, outside pole position. Now sits back in third. Still a comfortable day and a great points night for this 85. But with a long way to go, if the front of the field has trouble, he might just be sitting with a catbird seat when it's time. Gary Bowman right here sitting in the 4th position, the Virginia native. Gonna make the trip down south, do a little 2-step, and work his way into 4th. The Blackstone 08 with a great solid points night here tonight. And I know I talk about points a lot, and that's because, I mean, we've seen championships decided by 1 point or less. We've went to tiebreakers in some of the series here. So those points, absolutely everything. And since we have a little lull in the action, we're going to cap it off right here with a man that sits in 4th, Gary Bowman, with a 3-second advantage over Kyle Nadu, who rounds out your top 5. Want to go on a little bit of a rant, do you mind? What's up out in the chat there? Bully Dog Coffee Company and Media. Glad you could join us here tonight. Let us know who you're out here supporting and rooting for. We'll get you some TV time and stuff along those natures. But Blackstone, if you don't have a Blackstone grill, and I'm going to do a promo right here. I should get paid for this stuff, you know what I mean? Each and every year, a lot of us here at the Turn 3 Racing Network, we all head to Pocono Raceway. Imagine that, you know, the tricky triangle. 3 turns, no, we don't. Okay, anyways. And it's the staple. It's the center of the entire race weekend. When we load up the car and we go to the lake for the weekend to enjoy some fun in the sun on the jet skis, the Blackstone, center of the activities. If you don't have a Blackstone, it's one of the best. It's one of the best things you can buy. Forget about a grill. Get yourself a Blackstone. Get a smoker and a Blackstone, and you're set. You don't even need an oven. No more. You're good. Love it, love it, love it. Just wanted to take a moment to rant there, just on the sponsor of the car here for Gary Bowman. So a little bit of TV time, some extra sponsorship dollars going to be rolling that 08's way. Meanwhile, at the front, let's go check out Cody Richardson, your race leader. Once again, no struggles here tonight. Out front, showing the way, building the gap now, back over 3 seconds as Koska just struggles to keep pace here last time around. 2:14.09 to 2:14.30. So about 2.5 tenths faster. And that's going to add up in no time, really. Richardson punching in under a 2:14. He's going to run a 2:13.94. Just a tenth slower than the fastest lap of the race set by, guess who? C.O.T.A. Richardson. Lap after lap, hammer down. He is walking away with this thing at this juncture in tonight's race. Let's go check in on some previous race winners. What do you say? We jump back here to the 51 of Jerry Isaacs. Went to victory lane last week. Doesn't look like he's going to follow up that performance here tonight, but still looking to walk away with the top 5. He's got 2 more to go, so we'll see if he can get there. And we could have showed you a pretty hot and heavy battle here between your drivers out there in the field, your favorite drivers, Christian Delgado and William Kern, sitting 9th and 10th on the racetrack. They were involved in quite a heavy battle for quite some time. A 4-car battle to be exact, with Jared Camilli, the 30, sitting in 8th position, and Ray Richard back in 11th. They've kind of swapped those 3 to 4 positions all race long. But after the round of green flag pit stops, looks like they've settled themselves and Camilli into 8th, with Delgado running in 9th. William Kern going to round out your top 10. Let's take a look here as Kern comes around the final few corners. Yeah, and we'd have to agree with you that Richardson he is always a threat to win. Week in, week out, he's been in the mix. He's been in contention, just unable to quite seal the deal. But tonight, he's going to be his worst enemy. I mean, I don't know any other way to really say it or word it other than he's going to be his own worst enemy. If he can keep the focus, he's going to walk away with this thing. Almost a 4-second advantage. Yes, it's a road course. Maybe 3 mistakes, and Koska would be right there on him. But halfway through tonight's race, mistake-free, I don't think he's going to have problems. Let's see if there's any brake failures out through the field. But so far, everybody's equipment seems to be holding up. Let's see. I'm going to head around the track a little bit more. What do you say? Let's take one final look at that 13 of Christian Delgado before we go back to the front with your race leaders. C.O.T.A. Richardson. Let's see Richardson right here already running into lap traffic. Ray Richard going to go down to the inside here. Look to stay well out of the way of your race leader. And this is where the focus can really... I can't say that word, but really get messed up. Trying to hit those marks. Trying to hit the marks behind lap traffic is that much worse. It's that much harder, right? Let's see if maybe that helps. We do appreciate the little bit of heads up being a little low on the mic. Let us know if that fixes things up. Always love it when we get to interact with all of our fans here in TV land. Love it when they keep us straight too, right? Our community will call us out a heartbeat. This portion of the track too, this is where you do not want to encounter. You do not want to encounter that lap traffic, and right there is why the 85 of Dan Keene gave up a ton of time to Andrew Koska being stuck behind that 44 of Richard. And none of Richard's fault, right? You're in the middle of the S's. There's really only one racing line through the S's. Where are you going to go? You can't just jump out of the way. Richard's still battling with that Ream number 4 Ford Mustang behind him of Paul Turner for position. So you can't just pull over. And unfortunately, that's just the way it is, especially road course racing. Jurgen now trying to make his way by the Mobile 147 machine. Nathan Dufton listed off of the lead lap. Tom, what you talking about, bud? See, you're gonna get me off track here. I gotta stay focused. I'm over here talking about these drivers needing to stay focused. And here I am, the one over here having about 5 or 6 squirrel moments every 5 minutes. Anyways. Back to the point, race leader Cody Richardson, well and away from the field, well out front, over a 5-second advantage now. Andrew Koska securely in that second position. Dan Keene trying to close in. The 85 just has been stuck right at about that 1 second mark behind. Really hasn't been able to close in from there. Gary Bowman, Kyle Nadu round out your top 5. Jurgen Isaacs, Camille Delgado. Your top 9 still remaining on the lead lap. 31 of William Kern just going to succumb to race leader Richardson as we are now just down to 9 drivers left on the lead lap. 15 laps to go, just past the halfway point, and Richardson is on fire. His competitors wishes he was on fire too. Wish he would get out of the car and roll around on the track a lap or two. Give themselves a fighting opportunity and chance here. Gaps all throughout the field. No real close battles for position on the scoring pylon. There are some small battles for track position, but they do not affect your running order. We're going to keep it right here with your closest battle on track between Andrew Koska and Dan Keene. Second and third on the racetrack. And at this point in time, I mean, we've got 15 laps to go. Right there, I'm telling you. I don't know what you're drinking on over there, Bully Dog Company. But, I was about to say, where's this rain? You can see the clouds getting a little bit darker in the background. We heard reports of weather in the area, the possibilities of it hitting the track before we can get this thing wrapped up. And talk about a game changer. If it were to start raining at this point in time, what do? All right, pit road, you're going to spend about 36, 37 seconds 4 rain tires, and you're gonna be sitting there probably 45 seconds, 46. Are you willing to push it with slicks though? Think about the gaps. Look back there at Kyle Nadeau, sitting in 5th, 36 seconds back. If it starts to rain and everybody comes get rain tires, you stay out. You're going to be the race leader with maybe 7 or 8 laps remaining. Do you try it? Is it worth it? What do you think? Would you throw away a top 5? And at this point being, let's look at the timing and scoring here. Nadeau sitting, it looks to be right at about 20 seconds in front of Jerry Isaacs. Or in front of Jurgen, I'm sorry. In front of Ed Jurgen on the track. What do? You pit? I mean, that's the safe call, right? That's the easy call. I know if I'm your crew chief, I'm telling you to pit. I'm behind the wheel. Oh no. All depends on how I'm feeling. And for a moment here with just 13 laps to go in tonight's Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series Road Rage Grand Prix live from Circuit of the Americas, we want to give a big time shout out to Tom Richter out in the chat. Tom, what you doing in the chat, not on the track? What you doing, bud? What you doing? Glad you're still joining us here, watching tonight's amazing road course racing action here. The pure domination that has been out front for Cody Richardson. Absolutely astonishing. Here we are, a handful of laps into this run. And Richardson gonna lay down the fastest time of the race at 2:13.63. So if you think there's any let up out of the 64, you are sadly mistaken. As race leader Cody Richardson steps away, Keen reeling in Koska right now. The gap was over a second, has shrunk to 0.6 at one point, hovering right around that three-quarter of a second advantage for the moment, but a big run wide there. Keen gonna keep it nice and clean. There it is again, overstepping a little bit, but fortunately enough for Koska, King going to get a little loose, laying the power down out of the corner. But now less than a half a second. Got to be hard on the brakes here. Protect that inside lane. Almost clipped the left front, a little sideways there on the exit for the 86. And again, those little slides can compound themselves into such a big problem as well. I mean, you're taking away life on the tires. Anytime you spin the tires, anytime you lock those tires up, flat spot them, chatter them, you're giving up more life on the grip than you would without spinning the tires or having that situation. You can see here, when Koska's clean, he inches away from King. When he has those small moments, that's when Keen's quick to pounce on the opportunities. Does he have a look to the inside? Nope, too far back. Gonna keep it nice and tight to the left-hand side. Not gonna make up enough ground. Gonna run into the tire tracks here to the right-hander. See race leader Richardson still off in the distance. And that's gotta be a disheartening. Woo, big spin of the tires there. That's gonna be almost deflating. Defeating, if you will. You can see the race leader, but he's 5.5 seconds out, and there's no way you're catching him. Gotta be a little rough. Tied into one once again. The 86 of C.O.T.A going to keep that inside covered. Big spin of the tires once again, cresting the hill down into the right-hander before we hit the S's coming right at you here. What a beautiful camera shot here of those two fast cars working their way through these S's. And we've got a driver to pit road for a second time. Ray Richard going to come to pit road. And could it be that they don't have enough to make it on just one stop? Could it be a two-stop race here tonight from C.O.T.A? 3.3 miles long. It's possible. It is possible. We want to keep it right here with your battle for position on the racetrack, but we do want to highlight a handful of drivers. Let's go back here and take a look at this number 30. Alt Constructions Camaro of Jerry Camilli. Previous race winner has had a bit of a struggle here tonight. Did not qualify well, but has since picked up 5 positions. Biggest mover of the night. Now inside of the top 10, sitting in the 8th position, so a great run here tonight. And that's flipping the points into your favor. May not be, you don't have to be a great road course racer. What you gotta do is keep it on the pavement. And when I say keep it on the pavement, we're not necessarily talking about those rumble strips, right? We're talking about that solid asphalt, that paved track. It sounds so easy, right? Keep it on track. Psh, no problem. We've seen a lot of very talented drivers have multiple off-track excursions here tonight. So to keep it on the track, not as easy as it sounds. Even your race leader, who has had a pretty much flawless race right here as he's closing in on the tail end of Jerry Camilli, even your race leader has had 3 off-track moments. Now do you think it's as easy as it sounds? And a gentleman move right there from that 30. Moves out of the way early. Lets the race leader go by without any hindrance to his line of sight or braking zones. Gentleman race move there by Camilli. But that is going to put him into the clutches of C.O.T.A and Keen, who are in their own battle. They may catch this 30 at an inopportune time. Over 66 miles behind us. Drivers still have another 33 to go. 10 laps remain here tonight in the Road Rage Grand Prix. Brought to you by the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. Each and every Thursday night, you can find them right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. So if you've enjoyed the action, you've enjoyed the racing here tonight from C.O.T.A. Wait till we hit the track next week. We're going back to the ovals, baby. We're going to kick it off at Atlanta Motor Speedway, followed up by a fast, wide-open Michigan International Speedway. So some great racing coming up, and some great racing right here. A little bit of a lockup from the 86. Keene closes in, unable to pounce just yet. Now he's all over him through these S's. Great job to navigate the lap traffic, navigate the mistake, and keep the position. Koska gets it back on point and is able to keep Keene behind him for the moment. But again, if you haven't already tonight, join us in that push to 4,000 subscribers. Show these drivers the love. Drop the thumbs up. Click subscribe. Smash that bell. Over there on the right-hand side, get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, whether it's myself or anyone else back at the headquarters. We do appreciate each and every one of you, each and every time you stop by. So while you're here, before you go, don't forget to hit these drivers up with that thumbs up. '77 of Dave Sanders going to pull his machine down pit road late in the going. Unscheduled pit stop here for Sanders, who's had just a rough go. He's just had a rough night. Meanwhile, we continue to watch this two-car battle unfold for the final two positions, and there it is. Scheduled pit stops, race leaders to pit road with 8 laps to go. 8 laps to go, and coming to pit road. Man. And when you think about it, there's no real strategy. What are you going to do? You're not going to stretch a run 4 extra laps, another 12 miles out of the fuel tank. You might be able to squeeze an extra mile at ovals where you can kind of utilize the banking to your advantage. Here, you're not going to clutch it that much. You're not going to roll out of the gas soon enough. Road course racing, saving fuel and tires at a road course, very, very different, and we've got a problem for Richardson. What has happened to Richardson? Oh my goodness, Cody Richardson, what has happened? Let's go back. Let's see what happened here. Richardson's leaving pit road. Oh no. That is going to be a tough one to swallow for Richardson. Looks like some electrical issues with the car. Gonna put Richardson out of tonight's race. Can you imagine, ladies and gentlemen, being out front, leading the entire race, coming to pit road for the final time with 8 laps remaining? And it's all done. It all goes away that quickly. an unfortunate circumstance here in the virtual world. That's kind of, I don't want to say it happens all the time, because it truly doesn't, but that is just one of the nuances. There you go. That's a nice word, a nuance. I like that one. We're going to use that one more often. With the virtual world, unfortunately, losing connection, and out of tonight's race, Cody Richardson goes from glory to the closet. That quick. Man. Big beneficiary off of that will be Gary Bowman. He will move himself into a podium position. So the 08 of Bowman gonna pick up a spot with the troubles from Richardson. That's gonna also move Kyle Nadeau into fourth, with Jerry Isaacs now into fifth. Nadeau and Bowman going at it. Let's go here. Let's get to this battle, guys. And yeah, that one is definitely one of the ones that, it's one of the hardest ones to swallow. Right? Whoa, big moment there for the 97. Super loose. Coming up over the hill out of turn number one. He's going to light up the rear tires. Oh, wait, going to look to get the position, but preferred spot outside lane getting into the S is the 97. Will take that third and final spot on the podium. We're going to stay right here. This may become a pretty heated little battle for that final spot on your podium here tonight. 7 laps remain in the Road Rage Grand Prix. Out front, also a close battle. We're going to have to jump right back out front to your race leaders. Only a half a second between your top two. First and second up for grabs. Third and fourth on the line. Big battles to seek after. Let's go to the race lead really fast here. Koska has been able to keep Dean at bay for quite some time, as Keen just been putting things into the memory bank. Okay, he likes to go here, he likes to do this here, likes to go that there. Will he bait him into mistake, or will he just outright outrun him? We're going to find out here in just another short 6 laps. Who will walk away with the checkered flag? And as we were saying again, and we don't want to keep rubbing salt in the wounds or kicking a dead horse here. Peter, don't be mad. I wouldn't do it in real life. You know, you run out of fuel on the final lap and give away a race win. You crash coming through the trial at Talladega, giving up a race win. You can catch a penalty late in the race and give up a race win. All of those losses or giveaways are a little bit easier to swallow, right? You're involved to some aspect in your own doing. But when there's nothing you can do about it, that's when it really hurts. That's when the frustration levels go through the roof. Tough break for your pole sitter here tonight. Fastest man on the track and leading the most laps, but unfortunately, 64. Gonna finish outside of the top 10. Richardson gonna walk away with 12th. Koska on point once again. He rebuilds that advantage, now back up to 1.5 seconds. Let's go back here. Big battle for third. That final spot on the podium up for grabs. Switch and swap of the positions back in fourth. Nadeau and Bowman throwing haymakers. Great run through the carousel on that inside lane for Bowman, but unfortunately not going to take that position away. Little bit of run wide there for the 97. That's going to allow Bowman to catch right back up. Move to the inside. We've seen that 97 struggle with laying the power down on that outside lane up over the hill. He's going to do so with ease this time around. 97 nice and easy into the S's. Going to stick right here with your one and only battle for position on the racetrack. Koska stepped away 1.8, now make it a 3-second advantage. As Keene has a bit of trouble getting into the corner, he's going to give up quite a bit of time on that one. But almost 60 seconds, almost a full minute back to this battle for second and third. And now it looks like Bowman has lost the rear of the car and has lost a handful of tenths in just a matter of corners. We're going to head back up front with your race leader as the battle for third and fourth has dissipated and went away. Stepping away is Koska, looking to not step on his own feet here. Final 4 laps. Less than 15 miles of racing remain. We're going to see if we can't catch a word, but it looks like the PR outside of the hauler is stopping us short. We're not going to be able to get anybody close enough to Richardson to get a post-race interview, get his thoughts on how things unfolded here tonight from Circuit of the Americas. So, and rightfully so, and understandable, right? I wouldn't want to talk right now either. I mean, if I did, I'd probably have a lot of choice words that we probably shouldn't allow out there on the air. You can find that kind of content somewhere else, but right here it's all about the racing on the track here tonight from Circuit of the Americas, Austin, Texas, hosting the Road Rage Grand Prix with the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. An amazing run, an amazing night, handful of guys walking away with quite a bit of a turnaround from where they were running earlier in tonight's race. Jerry Isaac's going to turn things around. He's knocking on the door of a top 5. With less than 5 laps to go, Isaac's back into that 6th position. Camilli now up a 6th spot into 7th. So while there are moves being made, positions are just a little tough to come by. Three laps now remain as race leader Koska going to set sail up the hill and into turn number 1. Look to keep the advantage for the moment. Battle starts to pick back up between Nadeau and Bowman. Let's go right back here. And it's not always about being out front. It's about where the action is at. We try to provide you race fans here in TV Land with as much action as possible. And a battle for the final spot on the podium. I'm not going to be mad about that. We're still watching a great battle between two very talented drivers, Kyle Nadeau, Gary Bowman, going at it third and fourth on the racetrack. They've been mixing things up for the past 5 to 6 laps, each having their own little mistakes, their little moments. The other tries to capitalize. They've switched and swapped a handful of times, but for the moment, Nadu sits in that coveted final podium position, sitting in third. Koska maintaining 2.5 seconds out front over Keene. Half a second advantage down into the hard left-hand corner here. Able to keep the 08 at bay. Nadu trying to make his Lowe's Chevrolet as wide as he possibly can without overstepping the bounds in the braking zone, without squeezing the throttle too much. Trying to keep the position. He's got 2 more laps to go here as popsicle sticks have just went on display for your race leader, Andrew Koska. Just under 7 miles of racing action remain in the Road Rage Grand Prix for Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Racing Series. A first and only road course race of the season. These guys have put on quite a show. Take a look around, see what we see out there on the track. Christian Delgado having a bit of a moment. He corrals the car, gets it heading back in the right direction. As Delgado deep in this field, sitting in the 8th position, 1 lap down. No way, Cody. Tornado warning and power outage. Man, that's a big electrical issue. Cody, man, you know, we've still got this race to finish. We've still got a checkered flag to hand out, but man, this race was yours. And if I upset some of the drivers still out there on the track or some of their fans, you know, sorry, I'm not sorry, because it's the truth. Richardson checked out. He was gone. He had the field covered all night long. Stay safe, bud. Tornado warnings, that's nothing to be nothing to brush to the side. We wish you well throughout the course of the rest of the evening. Stay safe. I know there's a handful of guys you could reach out to if you need to, so just keep yourself safe, and we'll look forward to catching up with you next Thursday night. But here it is, white flag on display, final lap here tonight. From C.O.T.A. He says, yeah, I know, this guy. I don't know, there's a handful of you Midwest guys that, you know, you get the tornado warnings, the sirens are blaring, and y'all go out there with your iPhone 14s and decide to film it all. I'm just saying. I probably would be that guy too, though. I think tornadoes are absolutely phenomenal. Just an amazing display of nature's force and power. So I'm captivated by him, so I'd probably be that guy, but, you know, I'm on the dark side of things. I'm over here with my Samsung, so we won't get into that. Clean and clear through the first portion of the track. Koska has just got to manage about 1.5 miles to get his first race win of the season. Dan Keene, for all intents and purposes, looks like he's going to secure that second position without any problems. Kyle Nadu, Gary Bowman, they still have a little bit of racing remaining amongst themselves. We'll wait till the race leader crosses the line. Before we head back to that battle for third and fourth. You know, that's a class act right there from Richardson out in the chat watching here after a power outage. Elected to give him the old boot from the racetrack. Already, you know, moving on to next week, already putting it past them. And man, I'd seethe over this. Cody, you're a better race car driver than I am for that one. I would seethe over this one. And I might need a new wheel. Even though it wouldn't help anything, you know. Final corner, 86, looking across the line with the checkered flag on display, and that's going to do it here tonight. The Road Rage Grand Prix, walking across the line with your race win, checkered flag in hand now. The Ontario native going to bring home the checkered flag. For the Mad Spartan, the Sim Racing 86 crew, job well done. Nadu still going at it. Let's go back there. Let's get this battle before it's over with, guys. Let's go here. Final few corners here. Nadu and Bowman still going at it. Third and fourth on the racetrack. Just 3 more corners to go. And again, it's not always about the guy out front. It's about the battles and the action. Running it wide, giving it all he's got. Nadu wants this position. Here comes the 08. Big run through the corner. Look for maybe a little bump and run action. Not gonna get it, and Kyle Nadu will cross the line in third. Gary Bowman right there with a great fourth place run behind the wheel of that Blackstone 08. But here he is enjoying a very long celebratory cool down lap. The man that's going to walk away with the race win behind the wheel of that Toyota. He's been at the front all night long. Unfortunate trouble for his teammate. Turned his podium finish into a race winning finish. Amazing job out there tonight for Koska. So as drivers enjoy their cool down lap and come back around for some post-race smoke shows for the fans in the stands on the front stretch, we're going to step away for a brief commercial break, get things set up and ready to go in your post-race show. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back. And back trackside at the conclusion of tonight's Road Rage Grand Prix, right here from Circuit of the Americas for the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. An amazing race, an amazing run, some unfortunate circumstances for a very strong car in tonight's field. That's going to lead us into tonight's post-race show. So let's see if we can't dial up and have a few words with the man that walked away with the third spot on the podium here tonight. Let's see if we can't dial up that 97 of Kyle Nadu. Kyle, it's Dave. You got us?
Yes, I do.
Hey, man. Great run, great finish, and one hell of a battle over the course of those final few laps, man. How did you keep yourself calm, cool, and collected behind the wheel of that Lowe's machine?
Just kind of, we had 30 laps kind of building up to that point. It's just learning where you can buzz the tires, where you can't, where Gary was buzzing the tires. I had a mistake earlier where I jumped one of the turtles and I completely missed the corner, and it was like a 2-second slowdown. It set me back about 7 seconds, so I just decided to pit early and hopefully have to take less fuel than what Gary needed to, and it brought me right to his bumper, and the chase was on.
Well, you talked about when you could get on the throttle, when you couldn't a little bit there. A lot of drivers seem to struggle with right after turn one, you kind of crest that hill right when you're squeezing back into throttle. How tough is that to navigate in these Cup cars?
Oh, that's one of the toughest parts of this track. There was a time where Gary and I went side by side, and he was a little bit later on the throttle, and I got on the throttle, and the back end kicked out. I didn't see where he was. He cut back to the outside, but then my car lit the tires up again and kicked back to the outside in front of him, and I felt really bad. I came over the radio and I said, "I'm sorry, Gary." It was just a awesome battle. Gary's one of the best ones to race in the league. He's going to race you clean. He's going to race you hard, but he'll race you clean. He's not going to shove you off the track or anything. So I really enjoyed racing with Gary, and I knew, if something happened, it was going to be a complete accident on his part.
Well, Kyle, an amazing finish for you here tonight. Going to walk away with some great points from C.O.T.A. How you looking as we move forward back to those oval tracks? Next 2 weeks, we're heading to Atlanta in Michigan. What's your thoughts as we keep heading forward in the season?
Atlanta's a restrictor plate race now, so being with Mad Sim, racing at Daytona, I learned a lot, and it completely opened up the world to restrictor plate racing. I used to, despise going to restrictor plate tracks because my luck is so terrible, but now racing with these group of 5 guys, it just opened the world to something completely new. So I'm actually kind of sort of looking forward to going to Atlanta, which is weird for me to say. And then Michigan's just like another super speedway with these things. A little bit more lifting, a little bit more tire saving, but I feel better about Michigan than I would say Atlanta.
Well, again, Kyle, an amazing run. Great points day for you here tonight from C.O.T.A. Before we let you go, would you like to give any final shout-outs, thank yous, love yous?
I want to give you a shout-out for putting on this broadcast. I know road courses are kind of boring to watch. I want to say hi to my grandma. I love you. My girlfriend. I love you. My parents for watching. I love you too. And just, thanks for everybody for watching, and all the guys for racing a very clean race. And hopefully you're staying safe, Cody. I wouldn't have gotten this podium if you didn't have your little power outage there.
Well, sometimes the sun shines down on us at the right time, and tonight it was there for you. You walked away with third here tonight. We hope you can keep the momentum going. Look forward to catching up with you over the course of the next handful of weeks. So until next time, my friends, stay safe and keep it fast.
All right. Talk to you later, man.
And there you go. Final words for the man that walks away with the final podium spot here tonight. Kyle Nadu will secure third here from C.O.T.A. And that will lead us right along. And we're going to go trackside for this latest interview. Let's see if we can't dial up the man behind the wheel of that 85 machine. Daniel, it's Dave. You got a copy? You there?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, there he is. How you doing, bud? How you feeling after a solid run and a solid night? You stayed inside of the top five all night long. You were there battling for the race lead for a moment or two. Do you think you could have done anything different to maybe have something at the end?
Yeah, I just made too many mistakes. Just a slide here, a brake lock there. It's just enough. Uh, and Andrew, he, he maybe made a few mistakes as well, but he made less if he did. So that was just enough to get there. I had him I had him basically to the bumper, and then I locked up the tires and overdrove it, trying to gain that time back. But it is what it is. It's still solid with the second place, so can't complain too much.
So we talk about the mental focus that's needed here at road courses, and we notice you got that GoPro paint scheme on. You are a North Carolina native. I used to live in Kannapolis there for a while, so I think you might know where this is heading. Have you been to the GoPro go-kart track out there to maybe hone in on some of the road course skills?
I actually have not.
Oh man, you're kidding me! You gotta go. You gotta
There's a
go.
couple, yeah. There's been a couple kart places around here that I've had my eye on. I just never took never took the time to go to them. I probably oughta look into those one of these days.
Oh man, I'm telling you, the GoPro Plex is phenomenal. You will not regret it. I promise you. You're gonna walk away with a smile on your face, and you may end up with a go kart at the end of that next week. Your garage, it's yeah, it's like that. But anyways, back on track here, man. Great points day for you and your crew. We're getting away from the road course now, heading back to Atlanta. The new school Atlanta restrictor plate style racing. What's your thoughts on that? And then we move to Michigan, wide open, big 2 mile track. Do you think you can take any momentum even away from this road course back onto the ovals?
Yeah, Atlanta. Well, super speedways in general. I've always been, well, all of all of us at Mad Sim have been pretty dominant there. Uh, but so it'll be interesting. I think we'll probably try and work together for the first 90%, and then I'll have to play my own cards. Michigan, Michigan. I'm not sure. I feel like I've been good, but I haven't been there in a while, so I'll probably have to do a little practice, clean up some rust.
Well, again, man, an amazing job here tonight. Great run. You stayed inside of the top five all night long, all throughout the pit stops. No penalties on pit road. No real big moments here tonight for you to have to corral the car and catch it. So just a fine road course performance. So before we let you go, would you like to give any final shout-outs, thank yous, love yous?
Yeah, thanks for the broadcast. As always, thanks to Mad Sim Racing, and thanks to Cyber Thunder for putting this league together. Um, and thanks to everyone that showed up tonight. It was a bit of a smaller field, but hopefully there were a few good battles. Wasn't too boring of a broadcast for you.
Well, I love racing no matter what style of racing. I really love Formula One. Don't hate me for it. A lot of people find that boring, and it's nothing but road courses. I enjoy it. I love it. I love watching road course racing. Things get stretched out from time to time, but there's still a lot of great battles and a lot of driving, technical driving. The skills at road courses, in my opinion, a little bit. You got to have a little bit more behind the wheel for these things. So, but that's just an
Yeah, for
opinion.
sure.
Yeah, it is what it is. But Dan, again, congratulations on the podium finish here tonight, walking away with second place points. We'll see if we can't catch up with you here in these next coming weeks. But until then, stay safe, and of course, as always, keep it fast.
Yeah, thanks, Dave.
All right, there you have it. Final few words for the man on screen, walking away with second place here tonight behind the wheel of that GoPro 85. Dan King gonna walk away with second, and that's gonna put us right here with your race winner behind the wheel of that fast Mad Spartan Sim Racing 86 machine. Let's dial up race winner. Andrew, it's Dave. You got us?
Yeah, I got a copy, Dave.
Man, heck of a job, heck of a run. Yeah, teammate had a little trouble. You inherited the race lead, but you have to be in position to end up with the position at the end. You ran inside the top three all race long. Man, how good's it feel to get to victory lane?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it was a great night for all of the MSSR drivers here. Unfortunately, Cody had that power outage tonight, but I'll take the win. I mean, a win's a win at that point. Sucks that he lost his power, but it's great to get the win. Daniel and Kyle finishing there behind me in second and third tonight. A lot of good points here for MSSR, and great to get a win coming back here to the Cyber Pro Cup Series this season.
Well, man, a very long road course here at Circuit of the Americas. Over 20 turns, over 3 miles. How taxing is it on the concentration, on the focus, on the mental aspect of things?
Oh yeah, this has got to be one of the toughest tracks that are on the schedule. It's a blast to drive this place once you get used to it, but all those corners, it is tiring trying to hit them right every single lap. You hit one of those corners wrong, you're going to go flying off one of those turtles. So it's just such a tough track, and just to stay alive that entire race is hard enough. And congrats to everybody in the race that finished it. I know that's an absolutely tough race here at C.O.T.A.
Well, man, you finished it, and you finished it in front of everybody else, man. A little bit of a battle there at the end. Was there ever a time that you were in the mirrors? I don't want to say too overly concerned, but were you ever mirror watching teammate Keen behind you?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, between the three of us, we had fairly equal pace. I mean, Cody was a little bit faster than both of us, but we were kind of reeling him in there just before his outage. So, yeah, that entire last run, Dan, he was just keeping me honest there at the front, and I was kind of worried. I thought he was going to try to get a run on me there at the end, but I think he had a couple little slip ups there at the end, and I was able to just maintain that lead here tonight. So, I'll take it, I guess. Good race, those other guys there with me in the top three.
Well, man, again, congratulations on walking away with the checkered flag here tonight. Before we let you celebrate the rest of the evening away, would you like to give any final shout-outs, thank yous, love yous out there?
Yeah, first of all, shout out to the whole team. Great team at MSSR here. All of us working together to try to help each other out to be as fast as we can on the track. Shout out to my girlfriend, Steph. She's probably hiding out on the other side of the house watching the race right now. And also a shout out to all of our sponsors at MSSR. Fast car here again tonight that we had.
Well, again, Andrew, congratulations. We hope this gets a little bit of momentum on your side as we head back to the ovals. But that confidence is hopefully soaring, and maybe we'll get to talk to you back in victory lane here in the next handful of weeks. But until then, let this soak in. Enjoy this race win. Stay safe, and as always, keep it fast.
Thanks, Dave. Have a great evening.
All right, there you have it. Final few words for the man that walks away with the top spot. Ontario, Canada's very own Andrew Koska will walk away with the checkered flag and put a check mark in the winner column next to his name. What a night, what a race, what an event here tonight from the Circuit of the Americas. Just an all-around great road course. And just look at how massive this facility truly is. An amazing night and an amazing run from all of these Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series drivers. And as you hear producers hitting those buttons in the background, you know the familiar sounds. You know it's time for us to run down tonight's unofficial race results in the Road Rage Grand Prix right here from Circuit of the Americas. Top spot, checkered flag in hand, belongs to the 86 of Andrew Koska. Dan King gonna come home with second, with Kyle Nadu finishing out their podium drivers tonight. Fourth place belongs to Gary Bowman, with Ed Jurgen back in fifth, sliding home in sixth, the 51 of Jerry Isaacs. Jerry Camilli walking away went 7th tonight. 8th place belongs to Christian Delgado. William Kern in 9th, and finishing out your top 10, the man behind the wheel of that, a Brucey number 44, Ray Richard. Nathan Dufton back in 11th. Cody Richardson with the power problems will be relegated back to 12th. 13th place here tonight belongs to Dave Sanders with Paul Turner in tow. 15th, the Stiff Music with Dave Gainforth back in 16th, finishing out the field here tonight for the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. That's going to do it for us. We're going to begin to cut off the lights and roll up the cords. But before we go, if you haven't already, remember to join us in that push to 4,000 subscribers. Show these drivers some love. Drop the thumbs up. Click subscribe. Smash the bell. Over there at the right-hand side, get notified anytime we go live. Whether it's myself, Dave of the Cave, or anybody else back at the headquarters, we appreciate each and every one of you. Stay safe, stay loved, my friends, and until next time, we'll meet you in Turn 3.